Check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go!
Oh, eat your heart out, Jon Ryan, right down the middle. This isn't kicking it with Ballsy. No, it's kicking it with Jon Ryan, the only Saskatchewan kid to win a Super Bowl and a CFL veteran who started his football career in Regina, in the RMF, and has helped build it to what it is today, giving back to the community and giving back to Regina Minor football. This segment, Kicking It with Jon Ryan, brought to you by another great guy and his family, Ben Garrow, Advantage Collision in Saskatoon and PA. They're the family shop that cares. They're the best in-class auto body repair shop, OEM certified, and ready to meet your needs in the quickest time possible. It's Kicking It with Jon Ryan.
Guys around my office at Crestview Chrysler, they're, look at those muscles still as a 40-something-year-old guy. Give me a pump, pop a pump. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey, where were you? You were just you were on a 12-hour flight. Where were you?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the story if you got time.
Yeah. I got time.
I'm sitting at home on Wednesday at 1:58 p.m. I get a text message from the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
They said, we'll give you X amount of money, a very, very generous amount of money, and a first-class ticket to be in Germany tomorrow. I text back at 1:59, see you there.
So what was it like for flag football or what?
No, for 3 different promotions. It was just like the first night I went to a soccer game, like a Bundesliga soccer game. It was absolutely phenomenal. The next night I went and they had an end of the year party for the Rhine Fire, which it used to be an NFL Europe team, World League of American Football. They're now playing the European League. They had a big party for the fans. I attended that. And then the last night they had a Seattle Seahawks watch party at a studio there with 400 people. And so, I went to Germany for 3 nights and had an absolutely great time and made a little bank while I did it.
What a fucking life. Like, what a fucking
Unreal.
life. I don't get it. Nobody calls Michael Ball for anything. I don't even get to go down Albert Street for a Slurpee in Regina. You go to fucking Germany. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, I do about, 8, 9, 10 events for them a year. They were really like me to do some of the international stuff. They send me to Canada 2 or 3 times a year. And so the more I say yes, the more they ask me. And I think they asked me because they said, "Do you want to be in Germany?" And 60 seconds later, I said, "I'll be there."
Yeah.
I think that's why they continue to ask me. There's not a lot of other things going on that I'll jump at it whenever they ask.
So why, I don't get I get the popularity of the Seahawks. They won the Super Bowl, but 400 people a watch party in Germany. I don't get the tie in there. Can you help me out with that?
So it was broadcast all around Germany. It's 80,000 people. That's the official. It was almost like the NFL crew or whatever. They had 2 former players that are on the panel, and so they pick up the broadcast in between the commercials where the panel's talking. They have a German panel talking. And so that's broadcast across the country.
You know what's cool though, man? Like, you never know where your life will take you. And I know we've talked about this ad nauseum, and I'm you're obviously blessed with your life, but just think about that. Like, redheaded Jon Ryan, Sheldon Williams Spartan, Regina Ram. And you're one of the most popular Seahawks of all time, and now you're going to Germany. Like, that is crazy, man.
Yeah, it always blows my mind. I don't know what I did to earn the respect of these fans and why they love me so much, but it's pretty cool, and it's been very rewarding and very unexpected, and it's been a crazy past 20 years.
Awesome. Okay, so where I was going with this before I got sidetracked with the big bicep, and don't spill that, by the way. You've only done that a couple of times.
2 weeks ago, I did, yeah.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so the guys at Crestview Chrysler are all, who's on your fantasy team? Are you in fantasy? I'm not in fantasy. I can't. You know why I'm not in fantasy? Because I have a life. And I have a life that doesn't, it's like, no, I'm not a GM. I'm never going to be a GM. Fuck off. I love the guys, but fuck off with your nerdy Bijan Robinson. I don't give a shit. How about you? Are you into fantasy football?
I've never really cared. I got involved with the Portland Pickles Office League for a few years, and now I do some work with the radio station in Seattle, and I'm in their office league. Thursday morning I set my lineup and I don't think much about it after that.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really appeal to me. I know it's probably a $1 billion business helping to drive the NFL right now.
Yeah.
But it's very similar, Ballsy. For me, I grew up playing Madden football on the Nintendo or the whatever.
Yeah.
And then people said, like, what was it like to see yourself on Madden football when you got to the NFL? I'm like, I didn't give a fuck. I go, we all play Madden football to pretend like we're on the field. And now I'm actually on the real field. I don't care about John being on the fake field. It doesn't mean anything to me because I'm on the real field now. So people are always like, what? I thought it'd be so cool to be on Madden. I'm like, no, not really.
Yeah, I still have to pit, like, what's his name? Nelson Hackowich in town here. Good young kid. Well, he's not young anymore. He's 30-something. Way younger than me. You're way younger than me. But he spent hours taking that college football game and changing it to adapting it to the CFL. And I thought it was like, I'm talking hours and hours. And Ethan said, hey, I downloaded myself on the Bombers and I played myself at safety. I said, oh, at least you got one snap on there. You never got one on defense. Yeah, so I was riding him a bit. But it's kind of where I was going with this. It's crazy to actually sit down on a couch in your basement and watch your kid playing on TV. Like I can't imagine.
It must be surreal.
Now I know what your dad felt like briefly, and what your mom feels like when she watched you.
Yeah, I mean, I it always meant a lot to my dad for that. I mean, the short period of time that he got to watch me play pro football, and I think my mom was always so nervous watching me, but it was always something that she really loved and always meant a lot to her. So now that you get to go through it, and hopefully you get to go through it for about another decade. But I mean, I can't imagine. It must be surreal.
It's funny joking with him because every week, we talked about this last time you were on, every week he's like, oh, I just hope I did enough. Like, I watched the game, I think he played well, or pretty well, but I'm a biased dad. He's like, no, I was a terrible game, Dad. I hope I'm on the roster. Also,
Ballsy, sometimes it doesn't matter. You can have as a guy in his position, he can have a great game, and then next week they need an extra linebacker on the roster. They need an extra running back, and all of a sudden, all these people don't understand. Like, how a receiver got hurt and a linebacker goes down into the practice squad. How does that? It's all juggling numbers. So that's the frustrating thing too. Is like you never know.
Well, we're pretty pumped because this week he is playing in Ottawa, I think, and if he does play, like, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but if he does play, it's his pension game because you have to play 9 games and then the league matches your pension. So he's pretty pumped about that if it gets confirmed that he's playing. So that's
here's
cool.
a side note. Yeah, I was thinking about all the new stadiums in the CFL the other night. In Ottawa, they built half a new stadium, and they didn't build the other half. Do you know what's underneath the stadium on the one side?
The hockey rink.
Yes. Not just the hockey rink, it's where the Ottawa 67s play. It's like if the Regina Pats played underneath the stands at Mosaic Stadium. If you haven't seen it, go and look it up online. It's absolutely, I mean, an architect, I don't want to say it's an architectural whatever, but I think someone probably brought this to an architect and go, really? I have to do this?
No kidding.
It's one of the most bizarre setups I've ever seen.
It's true. And speaking of stadium, and that's where actually the Ottawa Senators first played. They played underneath there when they first came in '92. I was talking about this with my buddy Sean the other day. He's a big he's a big Jon Ryan fan, big Packers fan. Don't think he was your fan when you threw the touchdown to beat the Packers. He kind of didn't like you for a bit there. But we were talking about how every stadium's the same now almost, right? Like, not outside, but inside it's basically all the same. And how it's kind of sad. And he said, you know what? Give me Montreal Stadium. Give me Dumpy McMahon Stadium. I don't think it's Dumpy. Give me Green Bay. I'd hate to see Soldier Field go away. Like, there's only a few stadiums that are left.
There's not very many. I mean, and Soldier Field is actually terrible compared to what it used to be. It used to be a monument to World War I. You had the big pillars outside, all that. It was a truly unique stadium. And even Green Bay's not what it used to. I mean, Green Bay is like 54,000 seats. Now it's like 85,000, and it's a little bit more modernized. And I think they do. Once you get in the stadium, they all kind of look the same now. You're right. It's probably a little bit tougher because the field is the field, where in baseball, the field's all different no matter where, the fences are different, the dimensions are different. So you see so many great baseball fields because they're all different. But you step in the football fields, once you're in the field, it's kind of all the same.
Yeah. Okay, John, which 2-0 team is the most impressive to you? The Colts, the Bucks, or the Chargers?
Oh, man. They're all impressive to me. I think the Colts are unexpected.
Yes, they are.
The Colts, to me, they're completely unexpected. The Bucks are doing what they do. I almost think the Bucks. I thought they were going to be better. I mean, you're 2-0. You're 2-0. There's no pitchers on the standings. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, when Houston scored at the minute 34 or whatever it was left, and they're up by 5, and they missed that 2-point conversion. I'm like, I think the game's over. I think, you know, Baker's going to do what Baker does. The Baker we've seen in the last 3 years, and he did, and they won, which is great. But the Chargers, I mean, I hate saying this in front of you, but they look great. That defense last night was absolutely swarming. I mean, Genty didn't have anything. Geno looked mediocre at best. Yeah. I mean, he looked confused back there. A guy that usually, you know, completes 70+% of his passes.
He looked like New York Jets Geno Smith.
He looked confused back there.
Yeah.
And the Chargers defense looked great. Justin Herbert took a little bit to get going, and now he has that luxury now with that defense where he doesn't have to come out of the gates and score 40. Mm-hmm. He can take a little bit to get going. Yeah. And I mean, you look at Justin Herbert and Herbert. Yeah. I'm thinking of Ben Hebert, Justin Herbert. And when you look at his stats, have you looked at his stats? They're very comparable, if not better, than Peyton Manning's first 3+ years.
Yeah, like he got the most passing yards in the first 5 years in NFL history.
He's got the groundwork. 5 years, sorry. He's got the groundwork for a Hall of Fame career already, and I think it's their time.
Yeah,
you know, I think the Chiefs are done. You know, the Chiefs don't have that extra little oomph that they had to get them over the line. They played all those close games. They had that little oomph at the end to get them over. They don't have that anymore. That's done. And I think the Chargers are kind of coming up. Buffalo's still there, but I think the Chargers are going to be there in the end.
I agree with you. Hey, so and there's something to talk about. Baker Mayfield, from the, you know, people call guys bums and they're busts and everything like that. It just talks about getting into the right situation with the right coaching. And this guy is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. He is a top 10 quarterback.
And you look, you know, a first overall draft pick, wasn't he?
Yeah,
by Cleveland.
Yeah. Cleveland, yeah.
And then it was like bounced from there to Carolina, and then to the Rams, and then now he's in Tampa, and it's like he's on his last legs, on his last first round pick, going to his fourth team. He has no shot, and he came out and became the guy that we wanted him to be, or the fans of him wanted him to be. And it's been fun to watch. Like, as I said, when he took that ball with a minute 34, whatever was left last night, I was like, it's over. Mm-hmm. Like they have no like he's gonna do it. He runs. He does a flip. He gets hitting the leg. It's a flip. Jumps up. Runs like every guy on that team. I guarantee you to run through a brick wall for him. Like he looks like that guy that everyone loves. You know, like the old school guys. And I think it's fun to watch what he's doing now because I'm glad that he got it figured out and got to a place where he can succeed.
Which Harbaugh has the better quarterback? John in Baltimore or Jim in Los Angeles? Herbert or Lamar Jackson? Now it's not as lopsided as you'd think.
No. If I was going to take one guy for one game right now, I would take Lamar. If I was going to take one guy for the next 10 years, I'd take Herbert.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's where I am right there.
Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, Dak Prescott looks better than I thought he would with Schottenheimer, and I mean the Cowboys. I know they beat the Giants, but they've been okay to watch so far.
Yeah, I mean they had a competitive game week 1, which everyone thought they were going to get crushed. Last week they got by the skin of their teeth by hitting a 64-yard field goal by Aubrey, which is unbelievable. These kickers are so freaking good right now that a 64-yarder. You know, is like, okay, that would have been the longest field goal of all time 4 years ago. I mean, these guys are incredible. This Aubrey kid is absolutely incredible. Such a weapon for that team. So I think we'll have to see, but they are competitive. And Dak, I think Dak looks good.
Yeah, he does look good. Hey, speaking of that, I did have that written down for notes. So teams have made 5 kicks longer than 55 yards in each of the first 2 weeks of this season. That figure ranks tied for second out of 431 weeks since 2000. Now, under rules adopted this season, teams get 60 footballs for the year before the start of training camp. Kickers can work those footballs into the shape they want, learning exactly how they'll respond, and those footballs are definitely responding. The footballs are quote-unquote juiced. So here's where I go with, like, you see all these records for passing and stuff, right? And this guy. Listen, I don't think any of the records, like Dan Marino was the best passer of the football period. Receivers can get absolutely molested down the field. You can't even touch a guy now. And yes, these kickers are better, John, but it's not the same.
I got a message from Steven Hauschka right at the start of the year when we found out about this new rule about the kickers being able to work their own footballs all year, and he said every single distance record will be broken this year. For sure. Guys might hit a 70. I think a guy did hit a 75-yard field goal in the preseason. So this rule came around 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. Before that, kickers were allowed to juice their own balls up. And now to get more returns, they're like, we're going to bring in the K ball, which the referee would bring 6 balls to the game, basically take them out of the plastic, hand them to the kicker, and they'd play the game. And they were absolutely awful. The ball would go nowhere. And then slowly they started to work them a little bit. And we'd have a rule where we'd send in one guy to the room. The other team would send in one guy to the room. They had 45 minutes to break in 3 balls with their hands and with a rag. And now, I mean, it is. I could take a football right now and in 15 minutes add 10 yards to that football.
Really?
Football, it's all about how you can press the ball. And so I can literally destroy a football and make it into a ball that goes 10 yards farther than it did 15 minutes ago.
Now, you're not
that's how big a difference it is.
Yeah, and so you're not supposed to pressure or stand on a ball or put it in a clothes dryer, but are they going to really monitor that? Like, do you know what I mean?
No. I mean, I know that the referees will still look at the balls for the game and make sure they're not like rugby balls. But I'm telling you, you can make a ball pretty juicy pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I've, as we've talked about, I'm well documented. I'm paying a lot more to paying attention a lot more to special teams for obvious reasons. The kids running down full time. I have to say, man, if the CFL came out with this goofy kickoff rule that the NFL has, we would be called Bush League. What a joke. Yeah. What are these guys doing? But now it's innovative and, we get more returns. Sure. Come on, man. I even asked Ethan, I said, listen, it looks like, because the hardest thing to do in pro football in Canada is block on a punt or block on a kickoff because guys get a running start, especially kickoffs. Like, it's murderous, especially if you're a smaller DB trying to block a lineman coming down there. But Ethan said, no, Dad, that what I'm playing is real football. I'm asking you what you think of that.
Well, that's how we used to practice. That's how we used to practice kickoff and kickoff return to avoid extra running and to avoid the big contacts. And so I'm against it because every football play in the history of football for over 100 years, the team with the football lines up behind the football, the team against the football lines up on the other side, and we play football. And now all of a sudden we do this wacky thing that you see that I never thought I'd see outside of the XFL or the UFL or the whatever USFL, and I think it looks bad. I don't like it. I've talked to a GM, a good friend of mine, and he loves it. He says it's cutting down on soft tissue injuries big time. You take out that 40-yard sprinting. It's taking out potentially some of the head injuries. I haven't seen any stats on that yet. I don't know if it's true or not. But it's tough for me because I'm all for player safety, but I'm also a football traditionalist, and I want to see real football plays. So I don't like the fact that you can't have the Sean Payton Super Bowl against the Colts where you can just do the onside kick as a surprise. You can't do that anymore. Or you guys against Green Bay. Onside kick is absolutely dead now. I think you have to declare for an onside kick, and then I mean, what it's like, hey, I'm running the ball to the right, I'm running the ball in the A gap. What do you guys want to do? It's the same thing. It's like I don't like it, but if it's for and they can prove to me that it's better player safety, then I'm somewhat for it. But I haven't seen any stats yet that's proven.
Well, the CFL representative for the Bombers, Jake Thomas, told Ethan, I think today, he said, hey, there's studies that head injuries aren't really that doesn't cut down on head injuries. Really? It does cut down on like your soft tissue, your hamstring injuries, and everything like that. So you are right about that. Okay, how do we feel? I know you don't like him at the best of times, but how do we feel about Brady being a broadcaster and now in the booth with a headset? And they said on the broadcast, Pete Carroll quickly denied it, but they said he calls Chip Kelly 2-3 times a week to talk about the plays. Here's where I have a problem with it. They got Washington coming up next, and Brady just did a game with Washington where he sat with Quinn, where he sat with Jaden Daniels and got some intel.
That's why I thought there was some. I think he got defensive because I think there's some rule breaking there. I thought there were some rules brought up to him when he took over that job, and they said they're going to let you do it, but there's certain things you can't do, and I thought that was one of them.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but if you sit in a room with an opponent's coach and then you own another team, that's I don't know. I think
that goes to show you, John, the NFL right now is untouchable, and I don't know when they won't be untouchable, because they can have a stupid kickoff rule, they can have a clear conflict of interest, and everybody say, "Oh, he's the GOAT. Oh, we'll just move on to the next week."
Listen, I was just in a country, Germany, and there was a ton of Seahawks fans going crazy there. I went to the Rhine Fire. There was thousands of fans there. They average over 16,000 fans a game. They had last year, they had an attendance of 21,000, 45,000 for the championship game last year. So, and this is all because of the NFL. Let's be honest. Yeah. It's a freaking monster right now, and it's only getting bigger. Now they're starting to go to all these other countries. It's only getting bigger.
Do you think this Bills Argos thing is a good thing, or is it a bad thing? Is it good for the Argos to attach, or the Bill? Because I wouldn't want to think the Bills would want a team in Toronto. And we talked about this. I don't think there will be a team, but do you think this is a good thing?
I don't know. I think the Argos is getting out in front of it, to be honest. I think that once one team falls, I think every team's going to be scrambling to kind of join up and kind of unite with an NFL team for, marketing purposes and maybe player development purposes. I don't know. But I think they might be kind of getting out in front of it. And obviously it's an obvious choice being a few miles away from each other. But, time will tell. I think that I don't know what's happening right now at the CFL if we're going towards a 4-down league.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate because I have no clue. But some days I feel like it might be.
Yeah, and you have a big announcement like that, and the commissioner's nowhere to be found. That's kind of weird too. If it was the other way, Roger Goodell would be around. Like, where's Stuart Johnston? He was at the Argos game. He showed up to watch the game. I guess I'm glad he's alive, but I haven't seen the guy, so it makes me scratch my head. Hey, let's get to CFL for a second here. Oh, by the way, one other thing: does Carroll hate Harbaugh that much? Do they hate each other that much?
The hatred goes way back.
Yeah,
it goes way
USC
back.
and Stanford. But
yeah, I believe there was a game when they were like crushing USC and they're up 48-something. They went for 2 to get to 50. Something like there's a story behind that, and I feel like those wounds have never healed, and I feel like just that California rivalry that they had.
Did you ever notice anything though when you were playing? Like, was there anything said in the locker room like, "I hate that fucking guy. Let's beat that fucking guy"?
No. Pete would never say that publicly, or even privately. But it was always, you could we were beating them one time like 42 to whatever. We were just crushing them. It was a big game early on in the year, and I was standing beside Pete, and someone goes, "Hey Pete, we score. We're going for 2, right?" And he just like looked at him, just smirked, and just gave him the nod, I think we ended up scoring 49 that game, and he didn't go for 2. But you could tell that little sparkle in his eye was like, yeah, F this guy a little bit.
So, have you been on a team that decided? I mean, not decided outright, but mentally checked out before the game is done for the bye week? Because that's what the Riders look like they did. They absolutely checked out. Yeah. Montreal came in. I know you didn't watch the game because you were in Germany, but they got absolutely crushed by Montreal.
I saw the score and the stats. I was a little surprised to see that because, for the Riders defense to allow 48 points, was that all them, or was there a pick or any special teams? I don't know. But
well, there was no special teams. It was all that.
I was surprised to see 48 points being put up. I'll say that, especially 17. You put up, what was it, 17 the fourth quarter against them? Yeah. I think they. But I would never like to admit it. I don't think. I would like to think I'd never been on a team that kind of gave up, but I don't want to say they did either. But not their greatest outing.
Nathan Rourke looks like he's got it back. Looks like he's back in the CFL rhythm. He looks like he's the best quarterback in the CFL right now.
And I thought it might take him a little bit. He came back last year and he just didn't quite look right. And I think it's tough to be in that NFL locker room and be in that NFL more so in the film room, and then all of a sudden readjust back to the CFL after a year and a half. He came back, year and a half. And but now he looks, as you said, he looks like Nathan Rourke again. And I'm pretty excited about it, because I remember when I was watching him play, when I played against him before he went to the NFL, I was like, this guy is incredible. Like, I hadn't seen too many guys who had ever played against, at field level, throwing the ball into some of those windows that he threw it in. I was beyond impressed by him. And then to see him last year come back and struggle a little bit, and then, last week 21 for 26 for 308. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he can't play defense, but he certainly can play offense. You got to shore that up a bit. Okay, and one team that's been to 5 Grey Cups, the one that we talked about, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, what's remarkable in not a remarkable way is the fact they're turning the ball over left and right. Like they're the worst. They have the worst takeaway giveaway. Can you turn that around? Because that really, their special teams have been serviceable, borderline above average, and their defense is really coming on the last couple of weeks. They really, in essence, only gave up 3 field goals to Hamilton because Chris Strevler had a terrible game, threw a couple of interceptions that gave him a short field, and they've really been playing better defensively, but offensively they keep turning the ball over. Can you stop that snowball, or are you kind of what you are? That's who you are in the season.
It's tough, because I think that comes right from the start of the season. It comes from the way they're coached. It comes from their attitude. It's hard week 14 or game 14 to kind of turn that on again. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they're making an emphasis on it in the locker room, in the meeting rooms. But it's tough just to become something that you've proven for the first 13 weeks you aren't. But the same time, how's Kolaris, by the way?
He was at practice today. He didn't practice, but he was dressed. I mean, I do have some inside intel, but I'm not saying it.
Well, you're not gonna. I know you don't share that stuff.
But he is. He is good. Here's the thing. People are preaching. We talked about this last week. People are preaching, hey, shouldn't play anymore. In today's day and age, we got to get the facts straight. This is his first real head injury, quote unquote, in about 3 years. It's been a lot of neck injuries and stuff. So, I mean, it's up to him when he wants to quit. He'll be back. I don't know if he'll be back this week, but he will quarterback again this year. So,
I know that Milt Steele came forward right away. I believe after the game or during the game on the panel and said, if that was my kid, he would never play again. He should walk away from football right now. Yeah. And I don't think that's totally – I mean, I love Milt Steele. Don't get me wrong. I played with him. I love the guy. I don't think – I think everyone has the right to their own decision. I think that sometimes his head injuries have been overdone a little bit just because he had so many early on, but I haven't really heard of him having that many in the last few years. You never know.
It's been more neck. I was upset with Milt too a little bit, but then I'm thinking, okay, Milt just lost his son.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's kind of a prisoner of the moment, recency bias. So I'm never gonna jump on the guy for that. No. It's one of those things. And lastly, before I let you go out the door, I sure hope. I was putting in a bid for the Vanier Cup, but they already had a radio. They already had their media, so I'm not doing that because I was going to have you come to Regina and be with me and do all that. I still might get you to come, but has anybody reached out to you there? They should have you come in to do the Vanier Cup. That's something that's what we need. Guy who played in it, guy who's a Super Bowl winner. It's his backyard, Regina.
Yeah, no one has reached out to me whatsoever, but
you'd come back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm coming back this weekend for the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, awesome. For the 97-98 team, yeah.
No, yeah. I'm being inducted myself.
Are you being about? Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
So
I was not. My rookie year was 2000, so I wasn't on that.
That's right.
Team,
I got that confused. Yeah. So because I'm going to have Chad Eamon on the show, but I had an issue. I couldn't tape the interview, but I'm going to have him on. Okay. Yeah. So have you decided what you're putting in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I sent them a bunch of stuff. One of my Super Bowl jerseys, another one of my Seahawks jerseys, a couple helmets, my game ball from the Super Bowl, my Portland Pickles championship ring.
Yeah,
I sent them a number of different things. So I'm kind of excited. On Saturday, they're kind of do the unveiling of all the little capsules there. I'm kind of excited to see how it turns out.
Oh, I can't wait! That's going to be awesome. Okay, wait a minute. You gave them your championship pickles ring? Did you make 2?
I did make 2.
Yeah.
but also I believe they only keep it for a year and they send it all back.
I would have slapped you upside the head if you would have gave them the ring. Come on, you gotta have 2.
I think it all comes back after a year. So
you're the damn owner. You can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and then that's a membership has its privileges. But with that in mind, and you're going into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame, we have an epic Saskatchewan meeting. Rams and Huskies. Rams are 3-0. Huskies lost for the first time. Rams hosting the Vanier Cup. Mark McConkey's got them going. Just talk about that rivalry and playing in that stadium back in the day.
Yeah, I absolutely that was a real rivalry. I mean, I absolutely hated them We also had a rivalry with Manitoba during those days because
Yeah.
they were so good. But man, I absolutely hated U of S. Whenever someone would even say the word Saskatoon, I'd turn my head and spit. I just absolutely hated everything about them, and I think that's what builds a great rivalry. Because it was all, at the end of the day, it's all in fun. But it was a real rivalry. I absolutely hated going there. I feel like it was everything was against us whenever we did, and we just had some great games over those years for sure.
Not like I'm upset about it, but it's like, hey, Balls, you want to go to Winnipeg and watch CFL game? Sure. Hey, John, you want to go to Germany? Sure, I'll be right there. Like, what a life you have. Germany, a Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations on all of it, man, and thanks for never forgetting where you came from. I appreciate it.
Never. Thanks, buddy.